Hugh de Willmott Newman was a bishop in the independent Catholic movement. He was known as Mar Georgius I by the titles Patriarch of Glastonbury, Catholicos of the West, and Sixth British Patriarch. Newman was first made a bishop in 1944. He is most notable for having subsequently undergone numerous ceremonies of conditional consecration, thereby laying claim to numerous different lines or streams of historic apostolic succession, and also for having shared his own lines or streams of apostolic succession with numerous other bishops by conditionally consecrating them. Over a 10-year period between 1945 and 1955, there were a number of ceremonies in each of which Newman and another bishop would conditionally consecrate each other to give each the others lines or streams of succession, a practice that is sometimes described as cross-consecration. Newman consecrated, or shared cross-consecration with, at least 32 bishops. Today, there are hundreds of bishops around the world, perhaps thousands, with the lines of succession deriving through Newman. Early life. Hugh George Newman was born on the 17th of January 1905 in Forest Gate, London, England. His family background was in the Catholic Apostolic Church. His father was a deacon in that church, and his father a subdeacon. Hugh George was baptized at the Catholic Apostolic Church at Mare Street, Hackney, London, England. He was educated at Crawford School, Camberwell, London, and later by private tuition. As a young man, he changed his name by deed poll to de Willmott Newman, thus reflecting his mother's maiden name. Newman worked as a clerk in solicitors' offices until 1929. He also continued to educate himself. He took a post with the Christian Herald and he became a commercial consultant and, in due course, a Fellow of the Institute of Commerce. He engaged in charitable work with London's poor and needy, championing the cause of the underdog. Political activity. Newman participated in attempts to restore Archduke Otto von Habsburg to the position of Emperor of Austria and Bohemia. In recognition of his efforts he was granted the honor Prince of the Holy Roman Empire by the Archduke's mother, the Empress Ita, and also the title Baron Willmott of Hungary and Duke of Saxe-Noricum. Newman was one of the co-founders of an organization called Royalist International, which campaigned against Bolshevism and aimed to restore monarchy in all nations. In 1936, Newman resigned his membership of the Conservative Party, owing to his views about the abdication of King Edward VIII. He regarded encouraging or supporting the abdication of the king as an act of high treason, calling to Christian ministry. At the age of 7 years, Newman was an acolyte in the Catholic Apostolic Church. In his teens, he sensed a call to ordained Christian ministry and became an underdeacon in the Catholic Apostolic Church at age 19. The route to full clergy status in the Catholic Apostolic Church was closed, in that this was the time of silence. No new clergy had been ordained since 1901. During the 1920s and 1930s, Newman corresponded with bishops of autocephalous churches of Old Catholic, Eastern and Oriental traditions. On October 23, 1938, at the age of 33 years, Newman was ordained priest by Bishop James Columba McFall. McFall was a bishop of a group called the Old Roman Catholic Church of Great Britain. In 1939, Newman was adopted as priest by a congregation calling itself the Old Catholic Orthodox Church in Hounslow, England, that in 1925 had split from the Old Roman Catholic Church of Great Britain. Newman approached Arthur Wolfert Brooks of the Apostolic Episcopal Church in USA. When Brooks, a resident in America, accepted a position as a presiding bishop of a group of churches in England, he appointed Newman as his vicar general. Personal life. In 1937, Newman married Lola Ima del Carpio Bernardo, a great-granddaughter of Thomas Bernardo. In the mid-1930s, he was general manager of the National Association of Cycle Traders and Repairers. From 1943 to 1945, he was secretary and registrar of the Incorporated Institute of Cycle Traders and Repairers. Council of London, 1943. Newman represented Brooks at the Council of London, which was headed by Archbishop Herbert James Monzani. The background to the council was that, in December 1938, the office of Mar Georgius I had issued a statement warning the public in the West against bodies claiming to derive their origin and apostolic succession from some ancient church of the East. Groups claiming apostolic succession through Renevalate were explicitly condemned in the statement. The council comprised representatives from a number of bodies claiming to derive the succession from the Eastern churches. All were bodies with a very small following. They were Ancient British Church, British Orthodox Catholic Church, Apostolic Episcopal Church, Old Catholic Orthodox Church, Order of Holy Wisdom, and Order of Antioch. The council boldly declared the Syrian Orthodox Patriarch to be in schism, and that it was they who represented the genuine Church, which, for the avoidance of doubt, they renamed as the Western Orthodox Catholic Church. Appointment as a bishop. Arthur Wolfert Brooks, founder and leader of the Apostolic Episcopal Church, had suggested Newman as a candidate for appointment as a bishop. Newman was chosen by a pro-synod of the Old Catholic Orthodox Church in Europe as Archbishop and Metropolitan of Glastonbury. Just a few days before the Council of London, Brooks signed the consecration mandate and he authorized Bishop William Bernard Crowe to perform the ceremony, which took place on the 10th of April 1944. Catholicate of the West. Newman sought the convergence of churches into a unity. He was a founder of the Catholicate of the West. On the 23rd of March 1944, a deed of declaration united the ancient British Church, the Old Catholic Orthodox Church, the British Orthodox Catholic Church and the Independent Catholic Church into a single organization, to be called the Catholicate of the West. On the 28th of March 1944, a synod of the new Catholicate elected Newman as Catholicos of the West. At Christmas 1944, it was resolved that the Catholicate would bring its ministry, organization, usages and worship into general conformity with the pattern and model of the Catholic Apostolic Church. The name Catholic Apostolic Church was adopted, with the subtitle Western Orthodox Catholic Church, and the Catholic Apostolic Church's liturgy was adopted with a supplement. Under Newman's leadership, the Catholicate was dissolved on the 29th of November 1953. However, some members considered that the 1953 decision to dissolve the Catholicate had not been validly made, and they sought to continue the Catholicate under the name Catholic Apostolic Church with Mar Paulos as Catholicos. Mar Paulos led this manifestation of the Catholicate from 1953 until his death on the 29th of April 1965. Mar Paulos was succeeded by Mar David I, Mar David II, Mar Timotheos III and Mar Johannes Edmundos. For the 6th of August 1977 onwards, the headship of the continuing Catholicate has been formally united with the headship of the Apostolic Episcopal Church. On the 10th of May 1959, Newman revived the purportedly dissolved Catholicate, but dissolved it once again on the 1st of January 1968. Thus, from 1959 to 1968, there were, in effect, two distinct Catholicates. Patriarch. On the 29th of January 1945, Monzani handed over to Newman the role of British Patriarch. Note: Newman is generally cited as having been Sixth Patriarch. The succession is listed in the Wikipedia article of the Celtic Orthodox Church. Ecumenical apostolic succession. Newman's desire for the convergence of different historic lines or streams of apostolic succession was an aspect or outworking of his quest to unity of churches. He did not believe that being consecrated by a bishop from a different line or stream of succession adds anything to the charism received. His reason for advocating commissioning by bishops from different lines or streams of succession was solely that the episcopal status of those so commissioned might be more widely accepted. His aspiration was that an ecumenical succession would be created which all churches, jurisdictions would accept. The ecumenical mission, a vision that gave rise to the birth of the Catholicate of the West and to the notion of restoring an ecumenical apostolic succession, partially derives from the theology and aspirations of the Catholic Apostolic Church. In the 1930s, there was a somewhat parallel situation in the Church of England in that the Church of England had started to incorporate Old Catholic successions within its consecrations of bishops. In the case of the Church of England, the objective was that Anglican orders would meet the criteria declared by the Roman Catholic Church. Progress of the cause. In 1946, Newsweek published a claim the movement led by Newman had 140,000 followers worldwide. In later years, there were many changes and reorganizations, and a long period of general decline. Specifically, in 1952, Newman issued a statement of belief which he called the Glastonbury Confession. However, most of his clergy declined to subscribe to it, and in 1953 he released them from his jurisdiction. There were further changes in the late 1960s. In 1967, Newman repealed the 1960 Constitution and governed by decree. A revised liturgy was introduced in 1968. In 1968, the Catholicate of the West was dissolved. As a result of these changes and loss of adherents, when Newman died on 28 February 1979, the movement he had led was virtually unrecognizable, as compared with the movement as it had existed 12 years earlier. Newman's cousin, William Henry Hugo Newman Norton, succeeded him as primate of the British Orthodox Church, which became canonically part of the Coptic Orthodox Church of Alexandria in 1994. Some congregants at the time separated from the British Orthodox Church and formed part of the Celtic Orthodox Church. Lists of consecrations. Consecrations of Newman. April 10, 1944, by William Bernard Crowe, authorized by Arthur Wolfert Brooks. Further consecrations. April 4, 1945, by Sidney Ernest Page Needham. April 29, 1945, by Charles William Keller. May 20, 1945, by Hedley Cowd Bartlett. August 25, 1945, by John Sebastian Marlowe Ward. June 6, 1946, by Marthoma II Gregorius, Patriarch of the West Indies. June 8, 1946, by William David de Ortega Maxey. August 1, 1946, by Charles Leslie Saul. June 28, 1947, by Aloysius Stumperfell. July 14, 1947, by Frederick Charles Aloysius Harrington. July 14, 1947, by Aloysius Stumperfell again. February 19, 1951, by Davison Corty Arthur. September 18, 1954, by Clement Alfio Sgroi Marchese. July 17, 1955, by Odo Atchison Barry. Consecrations by Newman. This list includes conditional consecrations and cross-consecrations. Abinger, F. D. Bacon, Bartlett, Bateman, Berger, Bultwood, D. H. Brooke, Chamberlain, Corbin, de Ortega, Maxey, Palatine, Frippiet, Glenn, Herbert, Hergon, Jeffrey, Geller, Lagle, Langheld, Ludgan, Marquise, Needham, Newman, Norton, H. P. Nicholson, Pillai, Ricewick, Saul, Singer, Smethurst, Stump, F. L. Summers, J. S. M. Wood. List of apostolic successions received by Newman. A sequence of succession is derived from the Armenian Catholic Church Archbishop Leon Chokoranian, through Leon Chechemian. However, it is disputed as to whether this is a full episcopal succession. A sequence of succession is derived from the Syriac Orthodox Patriarch of Antioch Ignatius Peter IV through Jules Ferret to Richard Williams Morgan to Charles Isaac Stevens to Leon Chechemian. A sequence of succession is derived from the Old Catholic Church of the Netherlands Archbishop Gerardus School through Arnold Harris Matthew. A sequence of succession is derived from the Old Catholic Church of the Netherlands Archbishop Gerardus School through Jan Maria Mitchell Kowalski. A succession is derived from Malankara Orthodox Syrian Church Archbishop Antonio Francisco Xavier Alvarez through Joseph René Velarte. A sequence of succession is derived from a Syrian Church of the East Marshi Moon 18 Rubel through Anthony Thorndenat to Soars to Ulrich Vernon, Erfurt to Knight to Bartlett to Newman. A sequence of succession is derived from the Chaldean Catholic Church Anna Sahab Marella John and Medicine Anthony Thorndenat. A sequence of succession is derived from Chaldean Catholic Church Yusuf via Manuel II Thomas through Antoine Lefburn to Albert Wolfert Brooks to Charles William Keller to Newman. A sequence of succession derived from Melkite Greek Catholic Church Athanasios Soroya through Antoine Joseph Anede to Odo Atchison Barry to Newman. A sequence of succession derived from Russian Orthodox Church Sergius of Finland through Henry Joseph Kleefish to Odo Atchison Barry to Newman. A sequence of succession derived from Russian Orthodox Church Ivan Nikolaevich Stragorodskij through Henry Joseph Kleefish to Odo Atchison Barry to Newman. A sequence of succession derived from Russian Orthodox Church Archbishop Evdoky Meshesky through Aftimios Othishtasuk. A sequence of succession derived from Coptic Orthodox Church Apostolic Archbishop John Hickson through Davison Corti Arthur to Newman. A sequence of succession derived from Protestant Episcopal Church in the United States of America John Henry Hopkins to Cummins to Cheney to W.R. Nicholson to as Richardson to Chechemian. A sequence of succession derived from Order of Corporate Reunion Bishops Frederick George Lee, Thomas Wimberley Mossman, and John Thomas Seckham through Stevens to Chechemian. Works. Episcopi in Ecclesia Dei and Father Brandreth, being a reply to his book Episcopi Vagans and the Anglican Church. Glastonbury, Patriarchal Press. 1962, OCLC 771,326,302. The Reluctant Bishop. Glastonbury, Patriarchal Press. 1964, OCLC 559,989,148. About Basil Morris George Stannard. The Sad Case of George Forster. Glastonbury, Patriarchal Press. 1964, Orthodox Catholic Review. Glastonbury, 1944–1963. OCLC 561,989,400. Missing or empty. Title equals renamed Glastonbury Review. London. OCLC 229,657,706. Missing or empty. Title equals Sequences of Consecrations.